so much. For this beautiful festival and this incredible occasion of exchange and seeing such strong, powerful women, poets, writers, performers from all over. Very, very heartening and so important to what we do. I'm going to start with some pieces from the newest book, Trickster Feminism. And this is a book that coalesced in the last 2.5 years with the kind of assault on coming out of my own country, this relatively new leadership where so many of the safety nets are coming unglued, where so much has been done under the radar. Often we just see the superficial surface of what the guy is up to, and meanwhile the various minions and these people in the Supreme Court, it's getting very dangerous, very fascistic and uncomfortable, and many of us are continuing to resist and protest, of course, and we seem to have support from people all over the world, no surprise. So this is from these months of protest, of actually writing some of the texts in the street, of responding to calls for action and commentary and weighing in conversation. And it's so speedy, happening all the time. So, it's hard to keep up with the abominations, as I call them. So this comes out of a bit the women's marches, and it's called Dénouement. A little bit of Gertrude Stein at the beginning. Patriarchal poetry might be withstood. Patriarchal poetry at peace. Patriarchal poetry of peace. Patriarchal poetry in peace. Patriarchal poetry in pieces. And the day would be proud of itself, going on as if it hadn't already collapsed, had not been destroyed, riven, all the people mad and metabolically downcast. It's around the eyes, it's around the hearts, they said. The city was reeling. People were coming out to the street in the way they wanted to see where the big guy lived and boasted so as to mock the event. It wasn't over. It wasn't going to rest. The guy was not real as the day, as the year, the century, the epoch shared, was not real. The tribulation he ensued was not real, but it was that affect that mattered. What would suffer? It was the warmest year on record, as if that wasn't enough to make some citizens pause and pausing resist, and if resisting, insist on being heard and calibrated so that measures were taken around the clock, ice caps photographed melting, and all the rest, a pole away from accountability. How ugly would it go? Resistance had to resist, ward off, deflect, exorcise, defy apotropaic experiments to shift tone and danger, apo away, trepane to turn, make the day an amulet. And there were women everywhere across the land, children women, and girl women, and they women, and fluid women, and men who were women, and boy women, and women from the past, on the tongues of mind and ear, and images of women everywhere, ancestor women out on the streets. And if everyone said that I am woman that day, every woman that day, I am woman, they said, as if it had already happened if you stopped to think, winning in Maynard heaven, but could earthly heart hold. The day said, I am woman, winning in Maynard heaven. The day got up and walked this far, then paused to take stock. It was the last chance to be observant and cry and stomp and take stock. What worth if not be accountable? It would be theater, a spectacle, come pay, or come lie down in fluid bosom of woe, mankind. Remember the kabuki you saw imitating resolution between a sword and a fox, a country and its honor, how things and animals become agents of plot and resolve, last straws of honor. Sword resists now, broken on its back. Wild animal comes in peace. New maps, treaties, synapse, and blue of sky, midnight blue was invoked in the shroud that draped the mobster's chair where he sat, timeless, waiting for the play to begin. He was temporarily on pause, a mechanism that played to its own tune of false entitlement. Fake rhythm, not in tune with the spheres, but kicks in, and we were it, played upon. Blink of demon eye oscillating over doomed electorate, and we were becoming shroud of gray, rough, warp, and woof. Signals, collapse of silken worlds, now static, unravel, will reboot, silky, damp, dark of the labyrinth, going down. Maybe one could still supplicate, take back founding myth of Americus, the evil of the demon feminine. Centuries might wake up, spin out stories of what this got built on, or what it wasn't liable, was what unleashed in damage. You have to say it is severe this time. Male body, how it dominates since 3000 BC in Sumer, Tiamat's monsters, blowback, perturbation this time, traps of appetite, weather and addiction, road nukes. Say it to remind how the time might go on as a theater of dreams, of signs. This time the signals go weirder and you are on assignment. Every angle of the street, every minute, every day, avert, deflect. Every pilgrim theory is false and unsustainable in inclement weather. In the dream you stand in front of an ornate gate, but only by dancing does it open. Glamorous women have been fasting with games of break and entry, disguised as beggars to confuse the upper echelons. But they continue to move phenomenologically, no longer objects, subjects of phallic desire. This time, apocalypse, this time. And then I'll read Patriarchus. That's from a longer section of these, sort of a combination of the some of the different protests in the streets. Patriarchus, drone and cope, did trap culture ruinously, triage, did chaos, did reshape history, girls in the dark trying to read a man's world. Free electron with atom collides, then enfolds, didn't grok tangent, patria to make kinder, spread dissening, widening, then worsening word lore, did assassin's teeth, tectonics, tethered pathological oligarchy, did memory, by surrounds money, did this a grammar digital, language entwined, polis vernacular, holds this, and you do this, curses, tightening, coil, antic of animal, on kill, irreparable, you, Patriarchus, you did this, you marked this, you did this, you enslaved, and tell us get lost, you do this, spits out derivatives, did this, and out of nothing, anamnesis, and out of lecargon, unforgetting, fields of unsheathed wheat, cots, bunks, prisons inside are cuss. You did this. These conditions, these scenarios have to ensnare with your agency, grind and toil of meat wheel. How dally this world. You did this. Gone mute. You did this in oscillation. You do this, a coup, all turns. You did this. You stress this world, crude in light, iron fist, photon disquiet, waves of probability, code to names and word. But I am diamond fortress, am forest of refugees, rescue men and boys, am escape from the falling city. Poets with cusp on zodiac, and you did this. Projectiles continuum, but I'll feel love, and gnosis, am your spy agency, hacking and cyber warfare, winterlight, fox acid servers, impersonated as person, am legitimate imposter, topos woman, politic proletarian, linked in profile, not happy in melancholia, identity page, be tracking gems, quotients, situate the frame. But you did this, in your theater of dreams, but I'll never give up. You did this. You sold us out. You sold us down the river. You did this in cheap coinage, slaver's tongue, banks closed, goosed out of here, shrank us, greased us over. Lifetimes will remember. You did this. You do this. Will be pacifying, will be enriching, will be magnetizing, will be destroying, and never wear out a cosmic war on you. My name is Anne Waldman, and I approve this message. Look over Jordan. What did I see? Drones over Jordan coming after me, singing the crimes of man. I've got those Anthropocene blues. Looked into my crystal ball. What did I see? Ghosts of the extincted ones coming after me. Heap of trouble coming after me. Karma, karma, karma can't buck it. Karma, 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 we've done it. Manifest destiny, manifester destiny. Looked into my crystal ball. What did I see? Cadres of humans taken to the streets, changing the frequency. Got those Anthropocene blues. So this honors a number of feminists, this book, from Simone de Beauvoir to various quotations peppered throughout, Helene Cixous, many others. And this is a little mashup for Judith Butler. So you know her work? Okay. Mash Butler. Pleasures do not emanate from the biological body, crush on you at present time. That which the thing is in fact fitting to liken to the father's ambivalence, XX chromosomes perform this accomplishment. Stylized repetition, are you genitally organized? Is no thing here variety of form, reproducing, and is ontology, is Timaeus and haunting? Let's return to the ancients. Is routed, where is race, where is class? Woman, a trap, a fool's coat, a beaux voyeur sees you, no Christ saver, but no one butts her, not irrigating the system, a witty wigged one, hermaphrodite combine, not a mother, but like a mother, not a chora, but like a chora, semiotic, persistent, like irrigare, not irrigare, but like irrigare, not Kristeva, but like Kristeva, rival feminist sees you ontology, that mater has a feminine gender to be exploded, isn't easy, it can't wait, isn't cause, it can't wait, a nucleocentric assumption, lips speak together, isn't, is it not, but a system which body is assumed to acquire and require maternity, and law of itself, heteronormativity, mimicry, no way, I was born but nothing perfect, sex body, not a given, and then, just saying, streets of the world, All writing decides a galaxy, all writing resounds, planispheric history, stars, stars or stars, stars astound, not be victim to satisfy appetite. All writing is, in fact, cut-ups. Histories will decide. Rambo, your heat of the world, to rise up, outcry, inside, supply side, get crackling of an earpiece, oligarchies of the world, slice woes of women, a long delineation, longer than world be counting. This a whisper, enough of whisper to rise up in wiser wisdom, feminine streets of the world. Commission overheard a spin, a terrain, a soldiering one. She wanted to soldier out of here. What streets of the world to spin rubrics? Yes, yes, commerce. No, no, a no, no. Tanks of the blown off world. Earth and rising beauties of the world. Beautiful cyborg offshore. Major spills and elsewhere. No, no. Invite the Amazons in. Cut the dialect, the binary, the dear word so precious and forbidden. Dear futurist, dear stone. They use the machines to take the streets out of the streets of the world. Horizon, headwater, cut the cable, my beignets, my appetite, poor politics, poor Pauls. Reconstitute, polis ban, exclusion of women, oh women of the world, metonymic of entire edifice, waters of the corpse world, and media, cut lines, manipulate desire and show the word don't detonate anyway. She, assassin, Hassan, Isaba, production in classic Maya, textiles, Hesiod, they descend from Pandora, Rex Tillerson's, a Hex Tiller's son, tilling the field, a cultivation of one. Angora of shreds, a mythically shredded world, bleats the world, tools in the lab, make women open tomb, and allies slither out, where voices tremble, trouble sleep, there's weeping of the world. He won't accompany poetry when I use the word resist, test, Rome, cut in with a drone lullaby, hallucination, seeing and places that street fights the world. And Merkel, our nuclear future to fight poor politics, poor Paul's poor Merkel, our woman in caged and cut the torture, oh Iran, streets of the world, arise to cut back forms, else mammals suffer, show tablets, a Paleolithic grab, all streets of the world, twilight fields of discontent, all streets that shadow governments, rise up to reason the world, wounded galaxies, feminine discontent, insists, hear you, people of the word, what room the ghostly or golden light we reach to, lines and demarcations, assume worst has happened, departing undesirables, his French side, gypsy purge, subject to strategy, poor politics, its link, its drills, its despots, murderers in the launch, rides, alien, virus, moon, magnetized worlds, let them course light in unsettled streets of dreamers, let them go free from cruelty, mint them out of here, my William, my Burroughs, when in feminine you scold past, test me, burrow in, a guise in, goddamn interior ministry of fishes, and assume the worst in writing EPA cuts her exterior of life, the glib industry, selves behind tyrants, shells of desire, foxes in the hen house, my loaves and fishes in deep, deep water, foxes, hen house in herd and ready, there in the rock house, bleak and white streets of the bibliotech world, axis of sky, come down, oh no, my happying Russia, is at some point classical prose, my no Bulgaria, no Romania, my Haiti, my Egypt and Poland, and come to this coastline, America, I'm a wrecker. Ruptured pipelines to Gulf Stream is seated out to cut other fields, ripple effect, and your domino will fall. Arab nation, Achtung will fall. Geronimo, a domino falls. 1% down, bomb all fall down. Dimensions or strategy. Will history decide? Will Iraq, will Yemen pour for Rhea? How many tarots discovering sounds to kinesthetic gulf of arcana anywhere? She wanted to soldier a China Gulf to anyone. She wants to soldier out of long delineations, circumpolar water denizens, unruly genes that cut the variation images, shift to pool sense advantage to processing sound side, cut sound of memories share have been made by accidents. See how calm politics will become. Sperm count down, non-white wonder world, the walking marriage of the matrilinear push a boundary, pry open, pray open, let the women out. China, woman up! Take all Mandarin widows, oral consciousness of stars. This is called Marriage, a Sentence. Marriage, a Sentence. Stereo from this sort of serial poem. Marriage is like you say, everything in stereo, fall on the bed at dawn, because you work all night. Night is an apartment meant to be marriage. Marriage is an apartment and meant people come in, because when you marry, chances are there will be edibles to eat at tables in the house. House will be the apartment, which is night. There will be a bed, and an extra bed, a clean sheet or two for guests, one extra towel. How will you be welcomed? There will be drinks galore, brought by armies of guests, casks of liquors and brandies, elixirs, sweet and bitter bottle of Merlot, Bustelo coffee. Will you have someone I offer? When you are married, there will be handsome gifts for the kitchen, sometimes two of everything. Everything is brand new. Espresso coffee cups, a finished plate, a clock, a doormat, pieces of art, and books of astonishing medical science with pictures, even richer lexicons. When you are married, there will be more sheets and towels arriving, and often a pet or two. You definitely need a telephone and a cell phone when you are married. Two lines. You need separate electronic mail accounts. When you are married, you will have sets of things, of more sheets and towels matching. You will have duplicates of things. You will have just one tablecloth. When you are married, you will be responsible when neighbors greet you. You will smile in unison. Or you might say, oh, he is fine. Oh, she is fine. Oh, they is fine. Oh, she is just down with a cold. Oh, he is consoling a weary traveler just now arrived from across the plains. She, my husband, is due home soon. He, my wife, is busy at the moment. My wife, he is very, very busy at the moment. This very moment meant goodbye. When you are married, sex will happen without delay. You will have a mailbox, and a doorbell, bell, ring, it rings again a double time. You do not have to answer. That's for sure, for when you are married, people understand. You do not have to answer a doorbell, because sex may happen without delay. You will hear everything twice through your ears and the ears of the other, her or him, as a case may be. He and she as a case may be. When you are married, you can play with names, and rename yourself if you like. You can add a name, have a double name with a hyphen if you like. You can open joint accounts when you are married. Marriage is no guarantee against depression. A shun is no guarantee against anything. Marriage is no guarantee against resolution. Revolution is a tricky word. Here, you hear. Marriage is sweeter than you think. This is also from Marriage, a Sentence. Rumba. Say bells, say buckskin leggings, say drumstick, say domestic, say throb, say cautionary, say quit it, say I quit, say I don't, say gray sky, mountain shadow, say men are working, say women are sleeping, say there are messages coming in, say for you, say there's so much to do, say they want you doing a rumba for the Chiapas benefit tonight, say I'll do it with a pretty red dress on, we can wiggle our hips, she says, and catch a man, say we can, say women come on weekends to give themselves to lovers, say army camp, say they married before he went to war, say he died in war, say she lived many years beyond, say they were killed in the church, whole families, say they took out the men in the other place, say Joan of Arc married to her faith, say we are being tested, say many voices, say many trials, say polyphonic, say human, say the pathless forest, say we enter the kinetic, the virtual dumb show, say we go hand in hand. And I'm going to do this sort of chant for I was asked to do a poem for the Dalai Lama's birthday a few years ago, and I thought of him as Chenrezig, or maybe you know that's the Tibetan name for Avalokiteshvara. There's Kuan Yin, and the word Chenrezig means literally looking down on the sound of the world below, the sound coming up from supplication of the people who are suffering. And then there's the story of Amitabha Buddha helping Chenrezig have more arms to be more compassionate and more effective in the world, have more hearts to be more effective in the world, and then also how Chenrezig would look back and all the world would feel like he'd be, getting all the suffering, moving it out of the world, then look back and see more suffering coming in. So it's a constant practice of like sweeping the Zen hall again and again every day. The Dalai Lama. Chenrezig walks among us. Swept away all suffering, gathered it up in a quantum leap, sucked it up till it returned. And when he looked back over his shoulder and saw all suffering come back in a great wave, all suffering riding and filling up nooks and crannies and crevices and templates of the world, all suffering, filling neurons, quarks and leptons, troubling minds of fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, lovers, all sentient beings, suffering, toxins of passion, aggression, ignorance, in the middle of the night, strapped in demon mind, nowhere to hide, when no pounding, suffering rising, and mind splits in 1,000 pieces. Chenrezig wept and head split in all these pieces, and mighty red fire Buddha Amitabha leans in, puts the puzzle back together, wires it with tantric thread, adds some extra arms, extra heads, a conglomeration of tendencies, this wisdom body to rid the world of all suffering. More arms and heads take charge, build it better, a deity to maximize power of bodhicitta to ease all suffering. And now Chenrezig had 1,000 arms in all directions of space with numerous accoutrements, and under those arms 1,000 hearts better to banish all suffering, filling up nooks and crannies and crevices and templates of the world. Wisdom body, oh, the world over, China, Russia, Syria, Japan, Haiti, Yemen, 11 eyes with third eyes and more wisdom eyes in all the pores of this body. Chenrezig walks among us, humble prince toward all systems of empire. Precious ink, diamond scepter, skull cup of blood, thigh-bone trumpet, dissolve in mind, and lotus at his feet arises again through cracks of a concrete city or charnel grounds, eternal war. Starflowers shoot at dark of a distant galaxy. Anywhere out of this world, his heart is that big, and Dharma gates are endless. He enters every one of them. Come back at your multiverse, come back at you, blow back his love, his love. Is it cold out there? Will Tibet be liberated on Judgment Day? And China come to peace, and will relight the butter lamp gone out in panic of the dark age? Banish the syndicates of samsara, put away your texts of doom, turn the wheel again in our fragile, fragile planetary system. Universe Chenrezig walks among us, no identity endures, but bodhisattvas are ever active, invisible elves, swirling shamans, shape-shifting wizards every hour, dedicating the merit. No end time here, but aspiration to press harder. Don't tarry, don't tarry, don't tarry. Keep sweeping all suffering away. Keep thou with mudra, with mantra, every mala bead a thought for others. In every step, in all directions of space, push, push against the darkness, our Cartesian doubt, quantum dimensions to worry while Dharma bends in all directions simultaneously, and extinction is nothing but the extinction of all suffering inside the extinction of self, whose form is emptiness. Don't tarry to power of compassion. Chenrezig walks among us, scientist of compassion, and push, push against the darkness. 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 Push, push against So on that note, we have about 14 years to get our climate change situation together. We've been following the science and the news. And I think what's important there is archive, and also this notion of working with other species, considering some of those possibilities, I think, in our work, and make sure that things are not going out of this world. So I'll end with the archive, but I'm going to just, this is a little bit from Manatee Humanity. Manatee is a ziku, and is an endangered species that was taken off the list in the USA, along with many other species. Recent years, every kind of oil spill affects the manatee. And so this was fossil fuel, an angry chant. And then I'll do a little of the manatee, sort of moves into the manatee litany. Manatee, humanity, Om Mani Padme Hum Manatee, humanity. Fossil fuel now represent your representations in the symbolic code of language, manatee, humanity. It was the time of fossil fuel priorities, of precious business time. That's what they'll say about us centuries hence. It was a busy business time, so better get on with it time. They fucked us over in their greedy time, get on with it time. That's what they'll say about us. What were they thinking? It was commodification time, modification time, got on with time, we killed time. They fucked us over in our future time. We'll be surely more stressed in time. That's what they'll be saying. That's what they'll say. They got on with it, saying about us going nowhere but going down, and us all with them. What were they thinking in their selfish mind? Us, that's what they'll say about us generations hence. How living then hence, without so many animals then. They fucked the world over in their sweet, avaricious time frame. That's what they'll say about us. They let the animals die. They let the plants die. They killed the air. They killed the water. They killed each other. They killed language. Humdrum Paleolithic, where we would talk in sweet time notches. Well, that's over. Where did that ever evolve to? That along 20,000 years of keeping time once, keeping it for all, and moving it time forward, and it the art forward, and it humanity forward, and now they want to kill it. They really killed it. Then a long rim of Babylonian, rim of Egyptian, 5,000 years once ago, such progress. Oh, they kill all that too. Stupid murderers, but now my solar day, my lunar month, my solar year, my speed I inherited from them. What time is it now? We spoke of lustrations and the architectures of spiritual places, of constructing mandalas with colored sands, and the women who dance on the precipice of eclipses, performance and ritual under arches, pillars that delineate the way to move as a chorus might. Open atriums, they are moving into the augur space, a place of frequent animal sacrifice, where mere sidereal time, two passages of the mean sun time, and that is relative. But that does not explain, I protested, the way we brutalize time. Archive is shelter. Archive is the disembodied voice of a palpable consciousness. Archive is a jumbled dream. Archive needs poetry, you must never forget. Archive is inscription. Archive is inspiration. Archive tells many stories, and I am Archon, and a mere inscripted postcard is archive. When we return to your speech and start our own country, take this as directive. Memory of an animal is also yours. Archive all opposable thumbs we have record of in many identities. Archive's murmur circulates around the room. Archive lets originals breathe. You can't tamper with archive. It's a strange cosmology. And archive is an antithesis to a war on memory and stealing of poet fire. Archive is the tender footprint. Archive will not tread on the footprints of the most vulnerable. Archive is trust. Let archive record the names of those going out of this world. Tristan Albatross, all disappeared, all suicided. Archive listens into the margins. Archive is a privileged topology. Archive exists as a map of the future. If you are good at this, please memorize. Are you good at this? Memorize. Archive. Archive could be safe from composite strife. Archive is housed by and reanimates sentient beings. Archive is nest, is house, is reverie. Archive will hold you, and the line comes, I swear it, from the breath. Archive is Obad, is Alba, is Tagalid. Archive is dying, and archive will not die. Who lives to push the buttons to install the implants of archive? A far agent, a forest, a mountain to climb, an orange sunset, a cloth for the body, strong ropes to circle and carry. Archive listens into the margins. Archive is a privileged topology. Archive exists as a map of the future beyond the exigencies. And archive is the sublimated test of future identity. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Manati Humanity Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Manati Hum. Thank you.